Well, hello everyone. It is Sunday, Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, and happy Father's Day to all the moms out there that had to play both roles. And I have a few things to share with you today. Some plushies and some other small projects. So last time I showed you in the last couple of videos, some loaf cats, some small ones. This one was from a free Instagram pattern, and that was by Sweet Bee Crochet. And this one was a YouTube tutorial here by Crafts Go Bloom. So I like these because they're small and quick. Of the two, I like this one better. Of course, I did a couple of changes, like the way I did the ears and added an extra round, but other than that, I like that pattern out of the two better. So, everybody's doing loaf cats, and I was like, what pattern are they using? Well, I had a pattern that I bought way back when, and I tried to make it, and it was when I was still like very new to making the plushies, and I used Bernat blanket, and it was like ginormous, and I sewed the ears on in the wrong spot, and you had to sew on the legs and the tail, and there was just a lot going on with it. And I wasn't very good at it yet. So I pulled that pattern back out. I was like, I think I can adjust a few things and make this be kind of like a loaf cat. I mean, it kind of was before, but the kind of loaf cat where you don't have to sew everything on. So I pulled it out and I made one using Parfait Chunky. Now, he is short and squatty, like he doesn't have a very long body, and this is like the exact same amount of rounds as my big giant one had, but I did it. This is Parfait Chunky, and I pretty much skipped the muzzle. Well, I can't say I skipped the muzzle. I didn't do the muzzle separate. I started with the instructions of the muzzle, hoping that it was going to be out just a little bit, and then everything else from like starting with round 4 was the same, except that I did bobble stitches for the legs, and I crocheted in the ears instead of sewing them on. And when I first got finished, I'm like, he is so weird looking. But you know what? The more I look at this, the more I like it. The cuter it gets to me. So, the ears are they're kind of big, but cats have big ears. I would probably add some rounds in between the legs to give it a longer body. And this is one, when they say loaf, it starts you off like you're working in a square. So it is a loaf cat. Now I did the face a little different. I took some how would you say it? I took some of the Crafts Go Bloom techniques, like with the ears, and brought that over. And then I did the X for the nose instead of doing it the way they say to do, and I stitch on the whiskers, and of course I gave him a little booty. But yeah, the more I look at this one, the more it grows on me. So then I purchased one, and again, it starts you off kind of square, and it is all no sew. And it kind of is the same. I mean, they're all kind of the same. This one's like 48 stitches around. This one is 40. They both start off square. But this one has you do the bobble stitches. And I think they do them too soon. Like, they're not underneath the cat. They need to come back around or two and a little closer together so that it sits on its legs and not on its belly, because it just like lays on the belly. So I added the stripes in this one that came with this pattern, but I left the color changing of the ear that came with this one, the color changing of the feet, and of course I just did the tail in the lighter pink. Now they're very close in color, so it's kind of hard to see them. But this one, not my favorite pattern. Oh, sorry. This one is from B-U-M-B-E-E Crochet. And of course, like I said, I made those couple of changes. And this one is from Pammy Dolls. Both of these I purchased on Etsy. Well, then I was scrolling through Instagram, and it has a thing for cat accessories, like a cat bed and a little food bowl with little food in it, and then a little fish. And it says that it fits the pattern from Handmade by Annie, I think her name is. So I did a search. She does not sell on Etsy. She has her own website. So I bought another pattern. And this one is round. It doesn't start off like a loaf. And she has you do the bobble stitches. But instead of a double crochet, I did a triple crochet bobble so that they would show up more. Now I think I might be a little bit crooked, like lining up the ears and the feet. And like maybe the nose and the mouth could have been a little bigger. I did sew the tail on differently. I didn't give him his booty, which he needs, but they're all flat in the nose. It's like, you know how you go and you try to do the circle and you end up with this little coning effect? These could use some of that. So when you want it to happen, it doesn't happen. But this one is done with the Michaels yarn, the Home Slim. This one is Parfait Chunky, and this one is Parfait Chunky. These two are very close in size. And this was less work, of course, because it's 40 stitches around instead of 48. And I used the Home Slim, which is a little thicker yarn, so it made it come out bigger. Otherwise, I think it would have been pretty close to the size of this one. So I'm not sure on these bigger ones which ones I like best. I know I don't care for this pattern without making some changes and moving the feet up underneath the body. Other than that, it's fine. It's just I think these are placed in the wrong spot. So I had those, and that's 5 different patterns on Loaf Cats. Like I said, for the smaller one, I like the Crafts Go Bloom. For the bigger ones, it's kind of a toss-up. Probably this one from the Handmade by Annie. So after playing with all the cats, I decided, all right, it's time to switch it up because we don't want to, fall in that rut again. So I did another rooster or chicken, whatever, hen set using the pattern from on Ravelry, I Can Talk. And I used the salt and pepper Lily Sugar and Cream with the red and yellow color. So I have another set of 4 to go with this set of 4. We did that. And then I said to myself, something a little easier. So I busted out another color, and it is called Faded Denim, and it's also Lily Sugar and Cream. And I just kind of did my own little round, just a plain old round coaster. Started with 12, increased to 24, and then did the increases again on the next round, and then did a border stitch where it looks like it's got a zigzag on it of a slip stitch and a chain stitch. So I did a set of 4 of those. I might bump this up and make it like a set of 6 because it's so quick and easy. And something I noticed about this, their yarns, like I know people are saying that they've changed the formula on the Bernat blanket. Same people make this. I think they might be changing the formula on this stuff because some of them are kind of soft and others are pretty rough to work with. So that gives me 4 sets of coasters that are made from cotton that I could take with me. Then we did like a rollback and went and we made a couple of more bandanas using Passionate Kelsey's Pico border bandana. So these I use the I Love This cotton from Hobby Lobby. This one is called, it is called Domino Effect. It's kind of got some black, some gray, looks like some like a mustard, brownish mustard color. So I have that one. And this one is just called Teal. I Love This cotton. So I have this one. And it's got some nice, like, almost like an ombre type effect going on. So I have that one. And I did one more using the teal, but on this one I alternated front loop, back loop, so that I would have the little ridge. Like one row was in the front loop only and one row was in the back loop only, to get that little bit of texture on it, just to play with it and try it out, be a little different. So I have that one. And then I switched back to plushies. I was in no big hurry. So Rosalie Toys on Instagram. She also has a YouTube channel here. But her little, it's a little puppy dog pattern and it's free. Came across my feed probably last week or so. And usually what happens when I see the free patterns come across, I save them and then I go back to them later. Unless it's something that like really grabs me, and then I might jump on it right then and there. So I've told you guys like a million times that I have this like size thing when I see it in a picture versus in person. And so I'm seeing the pictures of her, the tester images and of her own, and I'm thinking this thing's going to come out really big. This thing is so small. And it's so cute. But I was expecting something bigger. So it measures like 3 1/4 inches tall using the Parfait Chunky. And it is, oh, I just had fluff go down my shirt. That tickled. Where was I? I used a Parfait Chunky and a 5mm hook. And in the instructions, when you crochet the ears, it tells you to leave a long tail for sewing. You do not have to do that because you are crocheting them in. You do not need that long tail. So it's pretty easy. Now, I was having one issue. If you look at that tail, this is following the directions. My tail is definitely off center. So I tried to adjust the placement of where that tail was, and this one ended up off as well. So I think that one I pulled it out a few times because now this one's a darker brown, like chocolate and white, and this one is teddy bear and white. But I pulled it out a couple of times trying to like get the direction, like which way am I moving it? I couldn't figure it out. So then I did one where I skipped over the tail part and then went back and like crocheted it on, did it like a surface crochet. So I did that one in purple. And nope, this isn't that one either. This is another one. The tail was still crooked. I was still trying to figure it out. Which one did I do that on? I totally cannot tell which one I did it on. But anyways, that worked fine. But then you had ends to weave in. So then I tried again. Rather than moving where the tail was, I moved where my legs were. The first leg of both rounds that have a leg. And by moving it back one stitch, it came out perfect. Came out perfectly even. And let me find one to show you. Yeah, so it came out even. This one is also Parfait Chunky. Actually, all of these are Parfait Chunky. And I think Pink Lemonade. So you saw the two browns, the purple, the Pink Lemonade. This one is, I had a little bit left over of a color from the Hobie Toucan yarn. So I used it on this. And I think it's actually just the tiniest bit bigger, like in height, because this yarn, like, just a little bit thicker, but does not frog well. So it's not my favorite. Well, none of these frog well, but that one really doesn't frog well. So then I don't remember what order I did. I know this one is in toffee and white. And I think I must have missed around or something because his head looks a little small. So he's the runt. Meet the runt. So he is in toffee and his eyes look really big because he's missing around. This one is in cream and white. So I kept making them until I ran out of those little noses. At least that style. This is one of the 3 gray Parfait Chunkies. He also looks a little small, but his face and head doesn't look distorted, so I don't think I missed around. I just think the yarn was a little bit thinner on this one. And hot pink, I think, for this one. Oops. And the very last one I was able to do on the very last nose that I had, all of them having a white paws and a little white muzzle. We could do it a little different, right? Well, I did. So this would be, I think, the cutest one with the 2 colors of the brown. I think he's absolutely adorable. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 10 little puppies. And I just sat there making them in no hurry. That's what I did yesterday while I was watching the show, and I just kept making little puppies until I ran out of noses. But Jenna came in, and we were picking through my bin of opened skeins, and you know, the smaller colors, shorter little balls had worked their way down to the bottom. So we dug all those out, and I was trying to use those up, and I was actually successful in getting rid of a couple of those. So I might do the same thing, because with those, let's see, this one's a parfait, with the little loaf cats, and just try to use up some of those partial skeins. Like this one is the Instagram, this one is Crafts Go Bloom. So I might make up a bunch of these small ones, because, you know, I can put a lower price on them, just to clear out all those partial skeins. But before I do that, as you can see, kind of, I still haven't put that yarn away. I have not been ambitious enough to do that. Ow. And I know last time I said I was going to go and do it, but I also said, we'll see if that happens. Well, it didn't happen. Nope, it sure didn't. It sure did not. So, that needs to be done. I need to pull out that yarn winder and wind up some of the like partially used skeins of the acrylic and stuff, so I can clear up some shelf space and have a place to put this stuff. And then we'll be good to go. But again, I don't mind doing it. It's just getting started, getting that motivation going to get started. But yeah, it didn't happen. Nope. What can I say? So that's all I have. I mean, it is kind of a lot. It was 3 cats, 10 dogs, 2 sets of coasters, and 3 bandanas. I mean, that's pretty good, I think. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to, I don't know. I think I'm going to start another market bag. They take a little more time, but that's one of those things where I can just set it down and come back to it later. I don't feel compelled to sit there and just keep going steady. So I think I'm going to go do that after I clear my pathway again, because I have to keep moving things out of the way so I have a place to sit, and then put it back so I have a place to walk. Like, I just need to take care of it. Oh, my goodness. I just need to take care of it. All right, you guys. Later. I'll see you later. I'm rambling now. I will see you guys later.